You've played jungle, top, and mid for MSK, and this time around you are the starting support. Can you give me a short insight on how it is to lane with Gary?
It's very comfortable to play with Gary because we have a great sync at bot lane, and it's very easy to dominate bot lane with him because we know when to kill or when to back off from our lane, and I think our bot lane communication is really good. To all our fans out there, don't lose hope. We will promise you that we will win them all no matter what and make it to the playoffs. Thank you.
And there you have it. We heard from Hamas himself. Let's go ahead and see, though, if MSK can indeed pull off the miracle of going 3-0 today in the finals day of the group stage for Group A. But of course, tomorrow we'll be having Group B, but that's a different story. For the meantime, quick intro, of course. I'm Arctic with MSK, and we are going to be your casters in what will be a very intense game. Once again, it's MSK and Ascension Gaming taking the stage.
Yeah, quite a heavy statement there by Hamas, the support of MSK, promising the fans that they will win it all, but that's a tough task considering that the next matchup for MSK will be the so far undefeated Ascension Gaming.
This is going to be pretty interesting. Ken, there's two things on the line here. Well, one of them of which not necessarily on the line, but a big factor here is, one, can any of these teams in the group end Ascension Gaming's constant streak? And of course, number two, can MSK still keep themselves in the group, or rather in the running for the playoffs?
I do believe we can show these standings right now. Of course, we did mention previously that Ascension Gaming is still undefeated after that really nice game from them. Rocky once again with an amazing performance on that Camille, but on the other side, MSK is clawing their way back up. They need to pick up wins here if they want to keep their hopes alive.
So of course, this time around, MSK technically still at the bottom, but of course tied at least this time around with Team Anything. Of course, how the standings will go, that'll ultimately change depending on the results right here. Rest assured, regardless of what happens towards the end of this game, if ever Ascension Gaming drops a game, they'll still be at top one. Of course, for MSK, if ever they win this, if I'm not mistaken, depending on the result of the next game, they will be tied with Resurgence in terms of the number of wins.
Yeah, I think in a situation where you go 0-3 in the first day, you want to win it all during the next game. It does seem that MSK has been making the necessary adjustments headed into the second part of the round robin. It's a totally different MSK out there. They look more calm, more controlled when it comes to making those shot calls and movements across the map. But once again, I have to say that Ascension is still probably the best team in this group, and it's a tough task if MSK wants to overcome them.
I mean, it's pretty much goes to say, because Ascension Gaming, we've seen them by history, we've seen their performance even during day one. They're just constantly strong, regardless of whatever season, what we see them, whatever split, regardless. So I guess we have a pretty interesting game right here. MSK has managed to defeat Ascension Gaming in the prior season. Question is, can they do it again after losing during day one? Hopefully, with the change with Hamas on the roster, that could be a possibility.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, Arctic, as we head straight into the drafting phase. It will be MSK on the blue side against Ascension Gaming on the red side. Now, Camille will be the first ban. We saw Rocky perform on that champion beautifully during Ascension's game against Team Anything. Now, I'm expecting Ascension to try at least to deny the Rakan from MSK. I feel like Rakan is one of the really good pickups here on the side of MSK. TG can really make a lot of plays on that specific champion. It will be the Swain first, though, respecting that from the bot lane, MSK as a team have been playing it more into Gary rather than either Kaigu or Exocel.
Right. TG rather. Correction from earlier. TG playing on support. But yeah, looking at the second ban right here, Trundle gonna be banned away from Ascension Gaming. So Trundle has been a bit of the constant that we've been seeing as well. Has been picked a number of times, banned as well.
Yeah, so let's see what Ascension decides to go for. And I like how MSK is banning, according to what they've already seen come out from Ascension. During the first day, Trundle was the go-to pickup for Lloyd in the jungle. So if MSK decides to follow this trend, I'm expecting them to ban away the Kindred here from Ascension Gaming for their last ban. Will leave quite a lot of picks open, though. Note that Ascension Gaming did not opt to ban either the Rakan or the Zoe just yet. They went for the Aatrox, which is something that a lot of teams have been putting heavy priority on, but will be the Rise here for Mineski. We'll leave the Kindred available if Lloyd wants to jump on that champion once more.
Wondering if in exchange will Mineski prioritize the Kindred themselves, but let's go ahead and check out what this final ban will be from Ascension Gaming. It will be the Rakan takeaway.
So this does leave the Zoe first pick for Mineski, but is Exosen that confident in his ability to play Zoe? We've heard a lot from the players and they really respect G4's ability to play the mid lane. So let's see how confident EXO is when it comes to laning against G4. There's a Zoe.
Looks like it's gonna be the lock-in right there. Exosen, after much success earlier during the game that kept Mineski alive and kicking in the group stage, will be locked in once again for Exosen. Can he pull it off a second time around? But with the Zoe locked in, there's a lot that Ascension Gaming can take away from Mineski in exchange with these two picks being on the red side.
Yeah, one possibility here for Ascension would be to take away the Ezreal or the Varus from Gary, because it wasn't picked nor it wasn't banned in the banning phase. It is the go-to picks here for Gary. They're really pinching Mineski's marksman to go ahead and play that Ezreal. Let's wait for the next pickup here. Note that Tom Kench is still available here on the side of Ascension Game. Of course, Varus and Tom Kench is a very strong duo lane. But Alistar will be thinking about it.
Alistar looks like will be the lock-in, so it's very clear what we have for Ascension Gaming's bot lane. Both Nixar as well as Rich will be taking those two champions. So I'm wondering, will Mineski, okay, as I was about to ask, will they be responding with their own bot lane? Looks like priority will be onto the Ezreal, not wanting to risk it getting banned out by Ascension Gaming within the second rotation from Gary.
Yeah, I wonder what they decide to pair with this Ezreal, because I'm really expecting Mineski to sit on that champion. During the first match of Mineski for the day, it was the Zoe Ezreal poke that really was super oppressive, which led to them winning. But let's see what Mineski decides to go for here. They still don't have a jungler, so if they don't go that route, Ascension do have the option to pinch the champ pool of June during the next banning phase. Pyke is actually pretty good into an Alistar. Consider that the execute from Pyke goes through the Alistar ultimate as long as he's low enough on his HP, so that's not a bad counter in a sense compared to the Alistar. But we did mention how confident EXO could be into G4. It will be G4's LeBlanc laning against the Zoe.
Wow, that is quite an interesting pick. Of course, LeBlanc, another one of the G4 specialties from so looks like we're gonna have an interesting matchup between these two, playing champions that they are considered quite efficient at. But looking at the second rotation of bans right here, Nocturne, pretty much a no-brainer, going to be banned away from June here.
Yeah, now with the route Mineski has gone through their pick and ban, it might make sense for them to ban away more top laners to give Kaigo a better matchup against Rocky. But it seems like both teams are going the similar route here, going for more jungle-focused bans. And what I'm not seeing is a Talia being banned away here. It's still very much viable for both drafts. Waiting on what Ascension decides to go for here.
Waiting for that second ban. I wonder if they're going to go for yet another jungler. Kindred is still left open for the taking. There you have it. Ban will be onto the Kindred away from June. So that kind of makes you wonder what other tricks June has up his sleeve if ever he does want to go something that's a little more damage oriented than something that could grant you those sets in team fights.
Yeah, and with all these bans, Arctic, every jungler that Lloyd so far has played throughout the group stages is not available, if I recall correctly. So we're gonna see Lloyd on a different jungler this time. I'm thinking of possible junglers here. If they want to go to tank route, Sejuani might be a decent pickup for their comp so that the Varus has a front line to work with. Talia as well for more early game pressure. Let's see what Ascension decides to go for. Zhao. Interesting pickup here by Ascension Gaming. It is also a denial pick here from Jun, so it does make sense in a way. Mineski is looking for a top laner and a jungler.
Let's see how deep Mineski can dig into their pool to wrap up this composition here. Really wondering what jungler they'll be going for, in which case looks like taking a bit of time. Wow!
Is that going to be locked in?
Is it? Interesting. Evelyn going to be locked in. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first Evelyn we'll be seeing at Globe Conquerors Manila.
Okay, so Evelyn as a jungler, it kind of changes the way that the entire Ascension Gaming team has to play, because it's very different playing against a jungler you can't see. You need to change the way you ward around the map. You can't necessarily just ward the river because
True.
the Evelyn can walk past those simple wards. So that's a big thing here on the side of Mineski. They're thinking about a top laner. They did hover the Mundo, but they will end up with the Gangplank in the top lane. Kaigu with a statement here. Let's see what Rocky decides to pick against this Gangplank. There's a lot of things that could actually counter the Gangplank in the matchup. Normally, you'd see ranged champions such as the Gnar come out, but Gnar would be a very Rocky champion if you think about it. Just like the split push.
Did you intend? Yeah. Oh, okay. Mundo, though, a hover over. Actually, not just. A lock-in coming in from Ascension Gaming for Rocky. So, with that said, interesting picks that we have here.
I'm really excited to see how Mineski decides to play around this Evelyn because there's a lot of pick potential on the side of Mineski. Note that they've gone full on damage here. There's no real room to build tanky. As for Ascension Gaming, you have to see that massive, massive front line of Alistair, Shinzao, and Mundo.
Yeah, that's a massive shield. Not necessarily a literal shield, but of course, a massive front light that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Could easily keep G4 and Nixar in check. Question is, can Mineski reach deep and can they shred through that build up at least? Of course, in order for them to shred through that massive front line that they have, they're going to have a pretty good start as early as the first few minutes, because if that kind of goes, then that could spell trouble regardless of the massive damage that they have across the board in their composition.
Yeah, and you know, majority of Mineski's wins, Arctic, from the games I've watched, it all stems from their great early game. If they're able to secure leads, usually just start styling on whoever their opponent is, but their opponent right now, Ascension Gaming, still, we get to see GeForce LeBlanc, of all things, and this man is really good on playing these assassins.
This is pretty double-edged for Mineski, because if you're going to look at some of the games that they had from day one, it was some missteps during the earlier phases of the game, wherein they're running a composition that they would ideally want to have a good start, that they kind of fumble. So I think this is another one of those interesting do-or-die moments wherein, from what we saw during day one, can Mineski execute cleaner to their win conditions heading into day two? And this is another one of those times where they kind of fell short during day one in terms of a composition that you'd ideally want to see perform earlier on. Hopefully they do this time around.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan for Mineski. They don't want to disappoint their fans. James did make a promise. They're going to win every game. The question on my mind is whether or not can Mineski pull off a miracle for Krupe.
Kind of a lot of questions going through our heads right now, but when it comes to Ascension Gaming at least, that's something that I'm pretty sure our Thai fans out there pretty confident in their chances so far. Ascension Gaming has been absolutely stellar throughout their run in the Globe Conquerors Manila so far. So it's just the constant question that we keep asking ourselves, even towards the start of the group stage, at least during day one. The question was, how would this roster fare on the Southeast Asian stage? That has been proven within the first few games. This time around, can anybody beat them? That's just the massive question that we constantly ask ourselves every single time we see an Ascension Gaming game heading into this particular date.
Yeah, you know, we're running out of actual questions to ask Ascension. They're removing all reasons for us to doubt them as the greatest team in this event so far, and they have been proving it quite well. And we're going to see the final lock-ins here for both teams. I'm very excited to see the mid and jungle 2v2s. There's a lot of damage in all of these champions.
I think this would be the time for all our supporters out there from the Philippines and Thailand. If you want to see Mineski hopefully make the miracle of going 3-0 today, be sure to show your support by using the hashtag MSKWin. Or of course, if you're a fan of the Thai squad, the pride of Thailand, Ascension Gaming, be sure to use the hashtag ASCWin, who's been absolutely stellar. No reason to drop a single game so far unless Mineski can upset that. Can they though? Of course, let us know your thoughts in the comment section, whether you're watching from Facebook Live, YouTube Gaming, or Twitch, as to who you think will come up on top.
You know, I heard our chat today, Arctic, was very, very lively.
Yes.
You're very outspoken.
And, you know, great to get some insight from all our peeps out there. I think it really just goes to show how passionate the different countries are when it comes to not just supporting their respective teams, but also just generally uplifting the esports scene within our respective regions.
Yeah. Of course.
So, of course, you guys got a peek of The rosters right here will be loading into the game in just a teeny tiny bit. But of course, we'd like to welcome everybody that is watching the Globe Conquerors Manila at the last day for Group A for their group stage. So we'll just have to see, man. And to those that want to eventually witness who will be our top 2 winners that'll come out of this particular group and into the playoffs. And if you want to watch that live, of course, tickets are still available for the big event at the Mall of Asia Arena come August 18 and 19. We will see the 4 biggest and baddest teams of the region duke it out to claim glory, win the $100,000 prize out of the $250,000 prize pool that we have for Globe Conquerors Manila, along with a chance to represent Southeast Asia within the 5 countries to Worlds. That's definitely the bucket list that any pro player aspires to check off.
And of course, hopefully MSK would be there for us fans.
For Philippines,
yeah, for Philippines.
For the Thai fans, a lot of chances through Ascension Gaming as well as Mega Esports. For Malaysia, of course, the hopes and dreams are riding on Kuala Lumpur Hunters and Team Anything, and of course the rest of the teams we'll mention on. But from what I hear, looks like we'll be head on to the riff. I don't want you guys to wait any longer. Let's go, guys. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, to the fans in the Philippines. Be sure to take a breather for the fans in Thailand. Be sure to continue to root for your undefeated representatives as we head into Game 3. It is MSK versus Ascension Gaming. Very, very interesting objectives for both sides here for MSK. It's to continue the streak of hopefully going 3-0 today, or at least for Ascension Gaming, continue to go undefeated in this group stage. Can either team accomplish just that? We'll find out.
Yeah, of course, for Ascension Gaming, I feel like they've already secured their spot in the semifinals, having 4 wins, still undefeated. So there's more bearing on the side of MSK for this particular match, but there's no reason for Ascension to let their guard down.
We'll see. From what we are seeing so far on the map, we are seeing a few pings being thrown off there from Ascension. Nixar actually took a little bit of a hit there, but looks like he will be A-okay nonetheless. Both sides playing a little bit more defensively, though.
Yeah, I wonder what actually hit Nixar. Maybe it was a pull-in from TG, but I'm very excited to see how LeBlanc and the Zoe matchup plays out. I've never gotten the chance to play this matchup myself, but I have watched a few games. Of course, we all know what LeBlanc can do whenever she's ahead, but on the side of Zoe, she can pop people instantly if she chose to.
That's kind of the scary thing that we're looking at here, aren't we? I mean, for both mid laners, these are champions that we know that if in the earlier parts, if left unchecked, if left to spiral out of control, if they do, it's just going to be a huge pain in the hiney for either side here to deal with all that massive damage.
Yeah, and of course, the early game has been the key here for the most part of MSK, because majority of the games they've dropped, they didn't have the best early game, but whenever they get a lead, you saw the game against Resurgence earlier, they look very, very good if they got out of laning phase with any form of a lead. But top lane Kaigu was actually forced to flash level 2 gank by Lloyd.
Kaigu hasn't been having the best time within this day so far. Of course, towards the end though, does manage to recuperate through the teamwork that MSK exhibited during Game 1. But I'm wondering, is that going to be another constant that we're going to see here towards the top side, wherein Kaigu might have a bit of a struggle, but we'll just have to see how that lane plays off.
Yeah, one constant has been Kaigu getting camped by basically every team that faces MSK. He's running a pretty safe build though, not running the Kleptomancy on that Gangplank, running the Grasp of the Undying, so a bit more tankiness available, a bit more sustain in the laning phase.
I'd also like to highlight the difference here between the build starts for both Gary as well as Nixar. Nixar actually opting for a Corrupting Potion start here in the spot lane, as opposed to Gary, who's going to be playing it a little bit more healthier with that Thorn Shield.
Yeah, you know, Arctic, speaking of the builds, I'm expecting Nixar to go for that Lethality Varus, but maybe I'll have to hold off on that. But okay, this is going to back off.
Yeah, a lot of time being exerted by Lloyd here to find that perfect opportunity to try to get in onto Kaigu here, but I'm wondering, are both junglers going to be meeting each other? Looks like Lloyd not going to be turning the corner at least. We'll go for this blue buff here. Looks like June will get wind of this though.
He's ahead 1 level. Lloyd's still level 2.
Looks like June gonna go straight for it. Gonna cast a spell onto Lloyd. Will he get him though? Looks like Lloyd gonna go straight in. Exosen and G4 are gonna be following. Take note, G4 very low on mana though, so it's gonna be 3 members of Mineski that are there. So Drowsy Spell will be landing onto Lloyd right there. Gets bursted down, and First Blood will be going to Exosen of Mineski.
Yeah, way too easy there for the members of Mineski to collapse. G4 was very low on mana, so nothing he could contribute to that fight. Of course, Exosen on point with his bubbles, with his battle stars. Once again, he gets First Blood on this Zoe. And we all know what Exosen can do on the champion if he gets rolling.
Exactly, and man, that's definitely going to be a good start. Unfortunate for G4 there. Was very, very low on mana, so there wasn't really much that he could do in pursuit. Probably just enough for one more spell, but of course, when you are using a LeBlanc, that's not necessarily how you want to utilize your kit, in which case, meanwhile, June looks like going to be taking full advantage of the opportunity to try to take a few camps away from Lloyd as well. Going to deny that.
Yeah, it seems like June is starting to bully Lloyd in the jungle matchup. And we go back to the start of the game, Arctic. We're talking about how during pick and ban, every jungler that Lloyd has played so far in the tournament was unavailable for him. So the Xin Zhao is a new pickup for the jungler of Ascension Gaming, meaning he might not be playing the jungler that he is most comfortable in.
Agreed. And what's interesting here is that we were wondering like what other tricks June has up his sleeve, and it seems like this Evelyn, perfect for the moment that Ascension, thinking that denying the Xin Zhao would work for them, might actually, might be a detriment, but I wouldn't want to call that earlier on because we still have a lot of minutes to go to see how that pans out.
Yeah, and let's discuss more this Evelyn pick from Mineski. I was talking with a few of my friends about it and her viability in competitive play. We all agree that it's harder for teams to actually play her in competitive because it's an organized environment. Like, Evelyn's always been super strong for solo queue, but in a competitive environment, she just changes the way a team should play against her, and it's quite hard to pull that off considering that warding is more organized, people will call out where you are in the map more often, so far Jude has been performing quite well.
Yeah, been pretty A-okay in fact. I'm wondering to what extent can he continue to pressure Lloyd, in which case, but looks like we have hit a bit of a calm once again. Wave is pretty balanced towards bot lane. So, but both junglers are lingering towards this upper side for a bit. Whether or not that actually transitions to a gank, we are seeing a few pings here from Mineski.
Well, most of the action has been around the top half of the map. We always see Kaigo getting camped here by enemy junglers. I think it makes sense for Jun to stick around the upper half of Summoner's Rift.
Oh, Lloyd lingering though in that rush. Meanwhile, Drowsy Spell will land onto G4. G4 once again a tad bit short on mana there though, so won't be able to go for further pursuit. Could go for at least one more spell. Ignite is down as well, unfortunately, so won't be able to get Exosen anytime soon. Exosen luckily going to be A-okay. Less on health, but still very, very hefty on mana.
G4 has flash, so if Exosen decides to walk up here, it will be a dangerous prospect for him. LeBlanc actually went for that all-in since G4 hit level 6 before Exo. Just a smart thing there. See, Exo's already behind 10 CS just after being zoned away by G4's LeBlanc. He did chug his corrupting potion though, so he's fairly healthy right now. Still a lot of damage available though for G4's LeBlanc.
TG starting to establish vision here towards the riverside. Will catch out Rich there, who looks like had the exact same intention. So, wow.
Yeah, Rich picking up the Moby Boots early, wanting to roam around the map. Jun's already invisible. That ward does not spot him. I wonder if G4 knows this. Exo's starting to play aggressive. I think G4 can tell.
Oh, Drowsy Spell gonna log, and this could be a good done deal. Looks like ultimate will pop in from Kaigu for the extra damage, but looks like not even needed. G4 gonna go down for yet another kill, going to Mineski, this time to June.
Yeah, that was Oscar level acting by Exosen. Easy bait. Baiting G4 to dash straight in front of him means he can land the point blank trouble bubble, but the pull in.
Yep. Oh, TG might want to get out of range to get underturned by Ascension. Looks like he will manage to walk his way out of there though. No casualties from this bot lane. Looks like Mineski has a few shenanigans up their sleeve. June lingering in that rush, gonna go for that Scuttle Crab, in which case.
ASC's bot lane is still level 5. Gary's already level 6. I feel like Virus and Alistar need their ultimates if they want to trade against this Pyke and Ezreal, and Jun was in the area, so no action gonna be happening there.
June making his way towards mid lane, probably just gonna go for a cross or maybe round 2, but a little bit too healthy on both fronts here, so I don't think that will be something that'll happen anytime soon. Constant harass going on to Rich though. Gary just throw in every single punch that he can on the bot lane of Ascension Gaming.
Yeah, of course, it's very difficult to play the Alistair into an Ezreal, but Chain of Corruption.
Great level 6 surprise right there onto Gary. That will be the kill. Looks like TG forced to flash away. Ascension still gonna pursue though. Looks like won't press the issue though. Guess gonna content themselves with that one kill under their belt onto Gary.
Yeah, great Chain of Corruption there by Nexter. The bot lane of MSK wasn't expecting ASC to engage because they burned the flash on the Varus early. Great pickup there by Ascension. They finally get a kill on the board. So Gary does have his flash available. No teleport though to get back into lane. Didn't even react to the Chain of Corruption.
Yep. Unfortunately for Nixer, will be getting a few more hits on that turret. Has to back away a little bit on the lower spectrum of health. Not wanting to risk overstaying his welcome. Teleport has been popped up by Kaigu to get back into lane. So no responses will be coming from the top laner of Mineski anytime soon. Unless through the ultimate, Rocky does have his teleport up though. So that's where Mineski has to be a tad bit more careful.
And talking more about Rocky here, Arctic, I feel like Mundo isn't the best champion if you want to split push. Rocky more effective on champions such as the Camille when it comes to pressuring the side lanes. During the laning phase, Kaigu will be pushed back here by the Mundo, but eventually it's going to be very difficult for Rocky to actually match the wave clear and pushing ability of Kaigu onto Gangplank.
Oh, June though gonna get caught between two members of Ascension. Was probably not expecting Rich to be in the area. Luckily for June, was able to make an escape. One thing I'd like to also highlight though is G4 going for the very, very early Merc Treads just so that he could deal with a lot of the damage from Exos. And if you notice, one of the skill shots thrown earlier didn't really graze G4 as painful as it did earlier.
Yeah, that's one trend that has been growing in competitive play. More mid laners are deciding to pick up the Merc Treads instead of the Sork shoes to have a bit more safety.
Oh, Exos gonna try to go over it. Drowsy spell to take note. Lloyd is in the vicinity, but that will be him going straight for TG. Numbers are looking pretty good in Mineski's favor, but Exosen will be flashing out. Not his own summoner though, so it looks like at the end of the day, Mineski will be just fine. Gary, unfortunately, almost landing the true shot onto that Xin Zhao. But oh no, Drowsy spell once again. That's going to be the pull in from TG. Exosen not able to follow up on the damage, but still a good chunk onto that LeBlanc. No casualties though.
Yeah, there's a lot of poke landing onto the members of Ascension Gaming. You feel very tense watching the bubble time onto a target, and you're asking the question whether or not Mineski could take them down. Not enough damage just yet. Of course, the safety as well, like you mentioned, from the Merc Treads is very effective. One of the complaints I hear a lot of players say nowadays is that there's too much damage in this game. Well, get more resistances. Just mitigate a lot of damage.
That's true. You know, you don't complain about it, you do something about it. And as you can see, through itemization, definitely helps out there. But blue buff pass will be onto G4. G4 has been struggling a lot. A lot of these fights where I see them try to match up against Mineski, there were a lot of instances where G4 was a little bit low on mana. So, of course, by Lloyd passing on the blue buff, that would help remedy that in the long run.
Yeah, G4 has had to spend a lot of mana trying to shove the lane because whenever Rich walks up and he's not in a position to respond to the invade, it means that Mineski will be in an advantageous position. Speaking of advantageous positions, the bot lane of Mineski is pretty much always pushed up. Gary dominating the lane on that Ezreal.
Meanwhile, Mineski, we are seeing June lingering towards the spot side. Won't be going for a gank anytime soon though. Looks like we'll just go for his red buff for the meantime. But this is a tricky situation for Ascension Gaming. Not really having that same calculation that they can because of June not being easily spottable on the Rift is definitely a tad bit of a detriment. If anything, a throw off on how Ascension maneuvers.
Yeah, and we did mention previously, right? We were talking about this Evelyn, how it changes a certain team plays. You need to put your wards in a different area. See, once again, the bait from Exosen. He has Jun as his backup. Good top. Heavy trading.
Yeah. Kaigu has been a little bit more... has been tricky for him in the CS department once again. But luckily, it's not as much of a difference that we see building up towards 13 minutes. June, though, might actually try to help relieve just that. Cleaver will be thrown at Kaigu there. Just a few hits here and there.
Rocky already has his Sunfire Cape completed. No magic resist, though, so Jun will be able to deal damage to him. But with no Grievous Wounds available, I feel like Rocky would be able to survive just by ulting away.
I'm wondering. Looks like June not going to be sticking around any longer. A little bit of a tricky cause to go for, in which case.
But there's always that question, Arctic, that the Evelyn isn't showing on the map. Where might he be? It's just a question of which members of Ascension Gaming respect the fact that he could be in their lane. If they don't know where Jun is on the map, they'll be forced to play less aggressive, and it'll allow MSK more room to find plays against Ascension. But speaking of finding plays, G4 is doing LeBlanc thing.
Oh, TG just when he was about to go up. Meets up with Lloyd there. Looks like Wolf managed to blast his way out of there before Rich can get a good set onto him. So luckily, TG making the escape.
Yeah, interesting interaction that the headbutt didn't push him out of the blast cone animation, but G4 don't press W.
Yep, looks like G4 will be just fine though nonetheless.
I wonder if he fat-fingered his W and he popped back to the bubble, whether or not Exosen would have killed him.
That would have been really, really unfortunate. We have seen a few of those squabbles in the tournament so far.
Yeah.
Probably in G4's case, not wanting to let that happen to himself either. But here we go. G4 takes the bait onto Exosen. With June will be in constant pursuit. Uses the ultimate, gets the kill, and that'll be another kill for MSK in the mid lane.
Yeah, TG though is in a bit of trouble here. Lloyd is chasing him down.
Is he going to continue though? Looks like we'll just back away. Going to respect the vicinity of Exosen and June.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair for G4. He's been laning against both Exosen and Jun, and the moment that the Evelyn shows on the map, there's no aggressive plays the other members of Ascension can make, so really nothing gained there. Big pick off there by Mineski. You know, throughout the day, Mineski has been giving more resources over to the side of Exos, and it seems like he really wants to carry these games. I've seen both Jun and TG constantly roaming up towards the mid lane just to try and give Exosen more safety. Rocky just ulted away, by the way.
Okay, Gary just gonna throw True Shot Barrage to make that wave a little less more painful. We'll get a little bit of a poke to cancel Rich's recall, but this could be a signal for Ascension Gaming to try to go for a dragon.
Yeah, it is a very late Ocean Drake though. It's already 15 minutes into the game and no towers are even near to going down here, RT. So very extended laning phase. You would have wanted to take the Ocean Drake earlier because it gives you bonus regen in lane. But you know,
yeah,
with these champions getting all this far, more items, Kaigo was at Trinity Force during his laning phase. That's how long the laning phase has been for both these teams. So
oh, potential 3v3 that we're looking at here. Mineski gonna turn to Rift Herald. Lloyd might actually go for a steal, but no, it's actually gonna be going over to Mineski. It's gonna be a full-on fight right now. Supports join the fray as well. Looks like the chase will be onto G4. Rich gonna try to zone the members of Mineski out from pursuit onto that LeBlanc, but looks like he might be the sacrifice, in which case he's gonna move out to, and Gary will be joining the fight as well, and that will be one kill into the bell of Mineski.
It's a bonus!
Exosen tries to go straight in, actually misses out. Looks like that is gonna be a huge sigh of relief for Lloyd right there, but wow. I think everybody kind of expected the kill, but fell.
Okay, was that luck by Lloyd or misplay by Exosen?
I don't know, man. Wow.
Tell us in the chat, luck or misplay?
Care to share your insights, ladies and
Luck or
gents?
misplay? That was really close though, but going back, how many times have we seen an Alistar basically become the sacrifice for his team in competitive play, Arctic? I feel like it's so cliche to say sacrificial cow over and over whenever we see Alistar dying like that.
We could just say a nice good steak on Summoner's Rift.
His food. Yeah, but you always see this. It's always the Alistar that sacrifices himself for his team. It was Ascension's top half of the map was in trouble, but yeah, great collapse by Mineski means he can pick up those kills.
I still can't get over what happened earlier, jeez. But anyway,
that was really close. That was one Teemo away. That
was like you were building up for a potential kill, and then all of a sudden, this kind of falls very, very short of your expectation. In fact, best way to put it is anticlimactic.
Definitely. But mid lane tower did go down to the Rift Herald that was picked up earlier. So Mineski getting value off of that. Now with the map starting to get opened up, the laning phase is effectively over. Mineski are going to try to look for even more picks here. The threat of the Evelyn and the Pyke roaming around is still looming. Of course, it's very difficult actually dealing with double invisible champions.
True.
You need to be on point with your vision game, but that's very hard to lay down the vision you want if all of your lanes are being pushed forward. But now Rich is in trouble.
Yep, gonna get the pull in right there. G4 will be joining the fray as well. Interesting fight that we have. Ultimate gonna be popped by Kaigu. Numbers are looking pretty good for both sides. Here is an all-out war. Nixar getting the kill onto TG June. Very, very low. Time is ticking. Down he goes. The rest of Mineski, they're trying to flee. Exosen tries to go for the back line, but still Gary gonna get chased down by Rocky. That's a very tanky Mundo. Double kill for Rocky. Looks like Kaigu gonna be restraining himself under threat still. All 5 members up and kicking for Ascension. 3-0 so far. Can Mineski try to at least go for a trade? Looks like that won't be the case. Victory for Ascension Gaming.
Yeah, that's 3-0 for the side of the first seeds of Thailand. The overcommitment by TG to go for the bot lane for Nixar on the side of Ascension. There was not enough damage for the Pyke to actually get the first execute onto the Varus, so they're still fighting actually.
Yep, but take note, 3 members of Ascension are there. A little bit over-eager for Mineski. Lloyd will get the kill onto Exosen. Kaigu might not be long of this world either, but luckily TG makes it just in time before Ascension tries to go for any dives under turret, but that was unfortunate.
Oh, I've seen this before, Arctic. This is Exosen doing Exosen things. He can't afford to get picked off like that. That was way over-aggressive, but I do believe we have a replay of the fight that just went down now. At the start of this all, it's actually TG pulling in Rich, but instead of going onto the Alistar, he overcommits onto Nixar, and there's no follow-up damage onto the Varus. They all focus down TG here. Once he goes into C, he's basically dead. The moment they don't take out Varus from this fight, the fight's already a victory for Ascension Gaming. Exos is not able to land his damage, and look at Rocky just being oppressive on that one though. Nobody could deal with this very tanky front line of Ascension.
That is gonna be it right there, and just like that, easily puts Ascension Gaming back on the map. Not pretty dead even gold difference that we're seeing here. Not that there's a difference to speak of, but wow.
Yeah, Mineski can't afford to put themselves in these 5v5 situations because in a full-on team fight, it's very difficult for both
Oh, drowsy
thought.
spell onto G4. Will the skill shot find itself though? Looks like, and we have a pause. Looks like we're just gonna have to wait for the next chapter of this game. Mineski versus Ascension Gaming.
Yeah, we have a bit of a pause there, Arctic. I wonder what that was, but going back, it's very difficult for Mineski to find themselves in a full-on 5v5 fight. Consider that most of their damage is poked from skill shots from Zoe and Ezreal, and they're gonna have to punch through the front line of the Alistar, the Xin Zhao, and the Dr. Mundo just to land their damage onto Ascension's carries, and that's a very difficult task to do. So in a full-on 5v5, it just makes it all the more difficult for Mineski.
Totally, and it's such a shame because Mineski had a great start, but because of that one fight right there, easily allows Ascension Gaming to have evened out that score and gold in general. Well, not score, but in terms of just the gold. And that just kind of puts the question in whether or not Mineski can keep the same patience, keep the same composure that they did during Game 1, because I think it's those exact oversteps, those...
Like Exo?
Yeah, like that over-aggressive move earlier that cost Mineski a number of the games from day one.
Yeah, I wish that they veer away from making those risky calls and go back to the controlled Mineski that we saw against Resurgence. I feel like Ascension have sort of gotten online here after that team fight. So momentum is very much on the side of Ascension. We're yet to see the results of what exactly is going to go down with G4. Maybe he gets away. He has a very slippery LeBlanc.
So we just got word from our production right here that we have a little bit of a pause right now because of a voice chat issue on the side of Ascension Gaming. So we're going to make sure that's resolved, of course. Got to make sure that comms are pretty darn good for both sides here. And, you know, comms is key. Comms is key.
Yeah, especially playing against champions with the Pyke or the Evelyn. You need to call out where these champions are, because if you don't see Evelyn on the map, you don't know. There's this pressure in your head. You're always thinking about where the invisible champion might be, and it forces you to play a bit more passively. You have to respect the fact that June is still very much a threat.
That is quite true. I'm wondering, though, at this time around, because what will make things trickier for June when trying to go for the pickoffs is if Ascension Gaming goes for their fuller numbers, then it's not going to be the same scenario as earlier game wherein we see the Exocen June tandem going for one single target. That just makes it all the more trickier just because this is what we were talking about earlier where Ascension Gaming, they have a pretty beefy wall that MSK has to work around before they could get that optimal damage.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine playing Zoe Ezreal, landing your Qs through an Alistar, through a Dr. Mundo, and a Xin Zhao, just to try to reach a Varus. That's nearly an impossible task.
True.
Especially in competitive play.
Really, positioning is definitely going to be something that everyone has to look out for from Mineski if you want to see them kind of push through in this game. But then again, Ascension Gaming, I think this is the time where they're really going to shine once we hit, as we said, those bigger team fights right there. So long as they're able to keep their key carries in check, well protected, then that's going to be the good done deal for Thailand continuing their win streak.
Yeah. And you know, Arctic, I actually want to check the chat right now and find out whether or not it was actually luck from Lloyd or a misplay by EXO.
We did present that question earlier, didn't we?
I wish we could know the results of whatever that poll was, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to ask him. Let's see, because I usually check the YouTube chat because sometimes we get a lot of great insights from YouTube. Sometimes
or not.
Or not. Sometimes it gets all the more. Well, I like looking at YouTube.
Day one, it wasn't beautiful.
Yeah, that's for sure. Woo! That was a pretty crazy chat during the
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that kind of, actually, yeah, at the back of my mind now, I can kind of park that question. I'm wondering. We'll just have to ask the chat moderators later what exactly went down. But of course, for those of you that have just tuned in, you guys are watching Globe Conquerors Manila, Day 3. Technically, the final day for Group A right now to determine who will be our first two teams to enter the playoffs between Ascension Gaming, Mineski, Team Anything, and Resurgence.
And of course, the teams playing Ascension already secured their playoff spots earlier with that victory against Team Anything, but Mineski is still fighting for theirs. If they do drop a game here against Ascension Gaming, all hope is lost for their chances towards the semifinals. So that's what's at stake for this currently paused game.
True. And I guess at this point, it's really hard to say because Ascension Gaming, sure, but these three right here, Mineski, Resurgence, and Team Anything, I'm still uncertain of which one of these three is going to be making playoffs this time around because as we saw, Mineski, they fumbled heavily during day one. It looks like it's only come day two when things are really, really high pressure that they start to get their bearings. Resurgence, like we mentioned, seems to be that this is the time for Singapore to really, truly shine. And Team Anything, toppling down Mineski, makes a statement that even as a second seed from Malaysia, they could roll with the punches of the Southeast Asian scene.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Group A, definitely the group of death out of these two.
Actually,
all the teams here are not discounting Group B, but I feel like the teams on Group A are generally just better overall.
Yeah.
So pretty much very competitive environment. You can't blame the teams for dropping games to each other.
I'd have to agree with you, man. I mean, having experienced a group of death myself, it can get pretty tense. pretty tense. But okay, so we're still waiting for everything to get resolved from where the players are playing right now. So for those from the Philippines or for those that'll be flying over for the main event, tickets are still available for the local fans here in the Philippines. You can get your tickets at all SM ticket outlets nationwide. For our international fans out there that'll be flying over to the Philippines come August 18 and 19, tickets can be purchased through SM Tickets online on their website, so be sure to check it out. And still selling like hotcakes. Lower box for day 2 I think are already sold out.
I've had a lot of people ask me for free tickets. The one that has a freebie, that's a jacket. Everyone's asking me for...
I'm pretty bummed because I wanted to get a day 2 ticket so that I could get the freebies. When I heard that they were sold out just when it was payday...
I can give you mine.
Wait, you have a day 2 lower box ticket? You bought one?
No, I was given.
Oh, complimentary tickets. I don't get day 2 tickets. That's not fair. I only got day 1. By the way, the complimentary tickets that I got, I'm going to be giving away later, because I still have a lot of tickets. I know a lot of you guys want to go to Globe Conquerors for the local fans in the Philippines. So I'm not endorsing my page, but I'm just saying.
He's endorsing his page.
Just saying.
It's facebook.com/Arctic Theory.
Yep. Yeah. Arctic with a K, as you saw at the bottom earlier.
He's advertising his page.
Oh man.
It's free Globe Conquerors Manila tickets, guys.
Yep. So, anyways, I heard that we're still resolving the issue where the players are at, so still might take a little bit. But for the meantime, why don't you guys check out the new Akali right here?
No way! That's the best story I've ever heard. Whoa! Did you see that one? Really? We can wish for anything we want? Ooh, then what about... Yeah! We can eat all your favorites, Willem. Roasted brachiosaurus, pollywog pudding, egg popsicles, rocks, more rocks, whatever that is, and... maybe not that. Oh, what if we made a snowman? Ah! Woo! You're right, that was close. I know, let's have the biggest snowball fight ever! We can go bigger? Then let's go bigger! What if we travel to dangerous lands? Meet fellow adventurers. Help people in need. And vanquish the bad guys before they hurt anyone else. We can be Freljord's greatest heroes! And boom! Save the day! Aw, I wish we could choose more than one thing, Willem. Whoa! What are we waiting for? Go, Willem, go! Oh, what if we were armored? Or we were elves? Or zombies? No, wait, robots. That's what people want.
We once danced in harmony with the land, until the tyrants defiled it. But when they shattered our spirit, we became sharpest at the break. We are the defenders of the First Lands, and we remember the cost of peace. There is beauty and tradition in the dance. Grace in every step. Power in every turn. Our dance is an honor to perform. And the last thing our enemies will ever see.
There is a great power in this world. Ancient and forgotten. It transformed fields of bare stone into wonders of life and magic. It carved mountains, drained oceans, and burned skies. It never faded. It only grew stronger. Hidden away, waiting to be found. The stronger it grows, the louder it calls. Others seek to claim this power for strength, balance, control. I was weak then, naive. So I vowed, never again. Few can resist the call of power. Many say I hold too much power. Others say I can't be trusted. Maybe they're right. But the only power I truly have is the strength to let it go.
Look within yourself. What do you see? Is your soul a fading light? Strengthened by fury, hardened by heat. Search deeper now. What do you see? Whatever you find, you must keep. We cannot fear what lies beneath. Look within yourself. What do you see?
I told you this was a bad deal, man!
Shut up and move!
Which way?
Over here! On your mark!
I see it! I see it! We're almost there, man! Let's go! I'm sorry!
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Back into the game we go for Mineski versus Ascension. Game number 3 for today's last batch of games for Group A. Let's go ahead and see as we head straight into a team fight. That's going to be Nixar locking in Gary, but Exozen getting the kill off on Nixar first before he could throw some really intense damage. Still 4 members of Mineski in pursuit of Rich right here. Just no escaping chance. 2-0 in favor of Mineski.
Yeah, of course, the fighting will not end yet as Kaigu just lost his tower.
Yep, and looks like with 2 members on his tail, just know he's going to survive that. Lloyd gets the kill.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to get off from a pause. Arctic just head straight into the action, of course.
Yep.
Trading across the map. Ascension Gaming, seeing that most of Mineski's members were invested bot lane, they make a play to try and shut down Kaigu's Gangplank. They do get the kill onto the top lane. Jun has spotted G4, but they don't see where the Evelyn is. Top lane tier 2 is under fire. It will go down. Nobody from Mineski to defend.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick shove-in coming from Ascension Gaming towards that top side. So it's still a scenario where in this uncertainty between both sides, there's nobody having a clear lead of the fray. But wow, very gutsy moves from Ascension Gaming. That was a very, very quick call onto Baron. I believe Mineski is aware of this though, but
are they?
Nobody really making their way towards it.
Oh yeah, I think they already have an idea. Now Rich is gonna try to keep Jun out of the pit. It's already at 2K, they're not gonna reach!
Oh, they might not make it in the nick of time. True Shot Barrage flies, but misses out.
And they get out.
Smite goes. Ascension Gaming, they're going to try to scatter to preserve this Baron. Nixar gets to get pulled in. Looks like they're going to try to pursue Rich this time around. Just a few more hits. Looks like having a bit of trouble trying to reach that Mad Cow, but looks like I think Rich probably not going to be surviving this in the end. Gets knocked up TG, but it's Kaigu that gets the kill. 2 people down from Ascension, still 3 with that Baron buff.
Yeah, what a decisive call there by Ascension Gaming. Oh, Gary.
Oh, Arcane Shift out of there, but with Ignite tick, and it's a good done deal. G4 will get the kill onto the marksman of Mineski.
Now going back, that was a pretty decisive call by Ascension Gaming to collapse onto the Baron. They invest everything onto it. They burn it down. Good job by Rich to keep out the members of Mineski from attempting or getting even close to attempting a steal. A few members did go down, so it does buy a bit of time for Mineski, but look at the damage. We died. Okay, no.
We'll just make it out clean and clear. But man, what a twisted turn of events right there. Even with Mineski getting 2 kills towards bottom side, it's actually Ascension Gaming that gets a lot more value through those 2 turrets towards top. Not to mention a Baron Nashor to boot. That is pretty darn good.
Yeah, let's see whether or not Ascension Gaming can get any value of this Baron buff. There's still a lot of wave clear available on the side of Mineski. Kaigu's Gangplank is on its way to becoming online. I wonder what the Caulfield's Warhammer will build into. He's only sitting on the Trinity Force at the moment. Rocky's still pretty much bullying Kaigu in the 1v1.
Oh, that's tricky. Luckily, Rocky keeping his Baron buff, just gonna split push like there's no tomorrow. Teleport is gonna be up at the same time for both top laners here, so definitely gonna make for a good response in the event of these bigger team fights. Ascension Gaming goes for their 2nd Dragon of the game.
Mineski need to start assessing damage control. They need to stop the bleeding. Ascension Gaming has a pretty hefty lead here. They have a lot of control across the map in terms of vision. Consider that most of the lanes are pushing in their favor, so Mineski can't exactly walk up through the river or their own jungle to lay down wards of their own. And even then, there's always that threat of Chain of Corruption from Nixar or G4 hiding and waiting in the bush to pop one of the members of Mineski.
And Mineski needing to put a bandage on this because so far, after all said and done, Ascension actually getting a almost near 3,000 gold lead over Mineski. But meanwhile, looks like action happening for 2 members of Mineski towards top side. It's a June and Exosen combo once again. And it looks like they're going to turn over that kill too. He's early, but Kaigu though, 2 members on Ascension on his tail. Looks like with Nixar joining them, this is going to be a good done deal for the 2nd tier turret towards bot lane. They could actually go for more if they want to.
Yeah, my question is whether or not Mineski can actually get the Baron buff off of Rocky. There's a lot of Baron damage here. Ezreal not the best AD carry to use when you're trying to defend these towers. Exosen has recalled. Let's see what Mineski can do here.
Yep, looks like Ascension might actually just back away, not gonna risk overstaying their welcome to get that inhibitor, but still, this is the power of Ascension Gaming. Building up with that Baron buff. This is Bit of a tall order for Mineski. They need to stand the storm until such time Ascension Gaming loses out on their buff.
Yeah, how much more can Mineski endure in this situation? It's very difficult for them to walk up to Rocky's Mundo. He's just gonna regenerate all of the HP that he loses while eating all of the damage on the side of Mineski. Note that there's no real tank on the side of Mineski, meaning there's no real person to walk up and face check. If somebody walks into G4's LeBlanc, they will basically die as G4 wants this.
Ooh. G4 are going to get pulled in by TG. Are they going to pursue though? Tries to go for June. Looks like June almost getting the chain. Won't get full damage. Still at half health. Mineski, are they going to go for the counter? TG actually going to flash in. Gets rooted down by Nixar. Takes a full barrage of damage. Greedy, baby. And he goes down.
Yeah, that was a one-way trip for TG. Either he kills G4, then possibly gets out, or he doesn't and just gives up his life. The support of Mineski is down. One less member on the map means that it's numbers advantage for Ascension Gaming.
Luckily, Death Timer isn't as punishing for TG just yet. We'll rendezvous in just a bit. At most, Mineski may lose out on a second-tier turret if Mineski doesn't play their cards.
Look at June.
June coming in from the backline, tries to go for Nixar, but finds himself isolated, having to deal with both Rocky and Rich. Lloyd will be joining the fray as well. That's a down jungler from Mineski. Drowsy Spell gonna go onto the Mundo. Still won't be enough. 3 members of Mineski going for the defense. A few desperate moves from Mineski there, none of which lead to fruition.
Yeah, 2 pick-off attempts there. Good flash by Nixar to mitigate a lot of the damage that Jun was putting out. But now, the numbers advantage is still on the map. Still pretty much a 4v4. Cannon Barrage to clear out the wave. Bubble will land. Will probably engage.
Could be an opportunity, but not able to go on to Lloyd. Lloyd popping up that ultimate to avoid damage. TG going to be down for the count once again. 3 members of Mineski going to go back to defend. Looks like they may need to give up the second tier. Take note, G4 creeping along the side. Could go for an execution onto Exosen. Exosen going to try to style his way out of there. Rich is ticking down. Gary gets the kill. Looks like Ascension Gaming still not able to get that second tier. Even with the way pushing in, looks like they're going to call it quits for now, though. G4 still lingering.
Whoa, back
onto Gary. Gary Ignite is ticking. G4 going to try to hold down Kaigu. Kaigu still trying to pursue Rocky. Going to block him off from any further pursuit on that mage from Ascension Gaming. But June looks like he's not done just yet. Going to get spotted off by the clone from that LeBlanc. But I guess it's safe to say that Ascension going to abort mission for now. And Mineski, luckily enough, able to defend their second turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, they hold on to the tower, but has the damage been done? TG just died from trying to execute G4 in the mid lane. He just walked out, immediately died. So Mineski needs to stop going for these high-risk, low-reward plays. They need to find a decent pick-off and not risk any of their members dying, because any numbers advantage for Ascension Gaming might just spell the end of the game for Mineski. Remember, tournament hopes on the line here for the first seeds from the Philippines. If they lose here, the semifinals are pro. No flash of Nixar!
Blast his way. Instant delete onto the 80 carry of Ascension Gaming. But it's like they're not going to go down without a fight. June going to use his ultimate to get out of there. Drowsy Spell will land on the Mundo once again. Is Mineski going to try to pursue though? G4 lingering around the sideline. Mineski Knight not want to overstep right there, but looks like they're going to play the patience game. We'll just back away for now. Well played.
Yeah, the Evelyn might be the actual X factor here, Arctic. That was a big pick-off onto the Virus. It removes a lot of the DPS poke and the engage from Ascension Gaming. And with Baron spawning in the next 4 seconds, it means Mineski can lay vision around that area. There's no chain of corruption from Fog of War that they need to worry about. So Mineski have bought themselves a bit of time with that pick.
What I find amazing here is that even with the Baron offense coming in from Ascension Gaming, Mineski not losing their composure, not losing out on a single inhibitor. Sure, they did lose out on an inhibitor turret, but then again, so long as those inhibitors stand, it still gives Mineski the opportunity to try to get a reach over the Rift.
Yeah, I don't see any blue wards though on the side of the Baron pit for Mineski. Just found... Oh, shopping!
Oh, G4! Looks like didn't expect a surprise from Mineski right there. Luckily, will make a recall, but Mineski could potentially take advantage of this opportunity to go for a Baron. Are they, though? Looks like it will be just a vision sweep instead. We'll play the safer route, as we've been saying about Mineski to be cautious of.
Yeah, all teleports are available for all members running teleport. Now, they're going to try and go for a pick onto Rocky, or maybe Jun's just trying to scare him away.
Yep, looks like that will be just a takeaway for Mineski right there. Lloyd gonna push off this waves. Drowsy does not. Lloyd land on Lloyd. Lloyd on land. What?
Forgot how to English for a second there, Arctic.
Yep, getting the nouns mixed up there. But Rocky Gonna go for a solo Mountain Drake right here.
He doesn't take damage.
Yeah. All Drakes so far going to Ascension Gaming here.
Oof, tough choice here. Now, everyone on Ascension Gaming is up. They're grouping up to prevent Jun from finding any picks. Note that Rich could possibly go to tank this. And they could two-man this. It will take quite a long time, but Mineski will be forced to face check this area at some point.
Dangerous. Living life on the edge, June. But has to be careful though. There are members of Ascension lingering, so might not want to be a little bit too greedy by going for a target he would otherwise think is isolated. Looks like won't be going that route. G4 though, looking to go for a surprise of his own. Looks like won't find anybody, so we'll just clear off the wave so that it could continue to push in. But Drowsy spell actually landing for Exocen. Will Mineski pursue? Looks like no call mission abort for now. Meanwhile, June gonna try to go onto Nixar and he goes down, baby! And will they try to go for more here? Because Rich is isolated, but looks like Lloyd will be the next target right here. Gary gonna continue to pursue. Rich might actually try to help out the Sims out. A little bit separated here, Mineski. Not quite clear on the target just yet. Gary tries to get that one last hit onto Lloyd, but looks like both members of Ascension will escape for now. Nixar being the casualty.
Yeah, once again, it's Nixar that goes down. Jun did I need to extend his flash for that, but can I get the pull? I know pull-ins here. Exocen a bit low on mana, but he has enough here.
Oh, Exocen gonna go straight in. Fortunately, Bubble won't be landing on G4, but he's taking way too much damage. That's big! Exocen gets the kill. Exocen is low on mana, but still doesn't matter. A lot of members of Mineski are up and kicking in this fight. Looks like they're going to want some cow for dinner this evening. TG going to get the kill. 2 members down from Ascension, and this could be it. This is the time to go for Baron. Rocky, take note though, is going for a split onto this inhibitor. Is anybody from Mineski going to respond to this though? Looks like all 5 members of Mineski will decide to commit. Come in from Rocky. This is gonna be a massive fight. Nixar getting locked down onto Exos, and Lloyd diving straight in. Mineski gonna turn for the fight right now. Rocky dealing massive damage onto June. June trying to walk it out. That's gonna be the shutdown onto the jungler of Mineski. Looks like it's gonna be a mission abort from here. Exos jumps and gets the kill onto the squishier members of Ascension from the backline. Kaigu ready to take down Lloyd, but still Rocky is just a beast on this Mundo. Can anybody stop him?
Ascension are able to salvage the situation. They stop the Baron. They force Mineski back to defend their base. The inhibitor unfortunately did go down. That changes everything right now for Mineski.
This
man,
was what we were talking about earlier. The salvation of Mineski being able to defend an inhibitor earlier from being taken down during the time when Ascension had that Baron buff was a saving grace. But this time around, as it goes down, that's going to be pressure that they have to take into account of pushing in the bot lane.
Yeah, it's good though that Exosen was able to kill off Nixar during that entire fight, because any other damage dealer alongside Rocky could easily two-man this Baron.
You know what would have been scary is that had that been a clean up onto Mineski, Nixar had his teleport up. And luckily Exosen was able to take him down, because if that wasn't the case, if things went really bad for Mineski, that could have meant a game finish right there.
No, TG!
Oh, TG takes almost half his health right there. Luckily survives to tell the tale against G4's assassination attempt. But man, this is really coming down to the wire, isn't it? Nixar trying to look for his next target. Will get the hold down onto June right there. June trying to make an escape. Will use the ultimate to make his way from any further engage from Rich. Mineski, they're backing away for now, keeping their distance. Gonna get the pull in onto Rocky. Can they get a full amount of damage before the rest of Ascension respond though? June takes quite a bit from that sniper Nixar. Rocky got him straight in. He gets the jungler of Mineski. This might be a full-on fight right here. The rest of Mineski trying to back away. G4 gonna try to go for Exos, and that's gonna be the hold along with the Drowsy still, but still the members of Ascension really intent on taking down the mid laner of Mineski. One more hit. Exos tried to walk it out, but gets sniped down by Nixar. This could be a full fight right here. Numbers are dwindling for Mineski. Knock up onto Kaigu. Kaigu will he make it out to tell himself force to flash away. Looks like with all of that gets a little bit of health right there. Gary, the only surviving member of Mineski. Can he keep the dream alive for the Philippines in Group A? Lloyd will be going straight right here. Teleport is gonna come in. Nixar joins the fray. Gary tries to go for G4, but still they are pushing real hard on these Nexus turrets. Gary trying to do what he can. Still very heavy death timers from the members of Mineski. Ascension Gaming gonna go straight for it. That's gonna be Gary trying to do what he can, but with 3 members, it's a good done deal. Ascension Gaming take the game, continue their win streak, and end Mineski's journey here at Globe Conquerors Manila.
Ascension Gaming, still undefeated, takes out Mineski. Unfortunately, Mineski has no more chances to reach the semi-final. So, tough loss for Filipino fans, but just Ascension showing why they are considered one of the best teams in the tournament.
Man, you got to feel for MSK right now.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, we've all seen it. They've put in such hard work to reach this moment right here, really gearing to hopefully make it back to Worlds. But unfortunately, this is going to be the end right here, though they still have one more game. So hopefully that could be their opportunity to at least end the tournament on a high note with a victory. But
yeah.
Ascension Gaming, though, wow. I mean, even with MSK trying to get that build-up, a few fumbles here and there, it really just came down to who could try to pick someone off, who could play a little bit better around these objectives. And I think Ascension Gaming definitely proved themselves as a massive contender.
Yeah, Nixa really redeemed himself towards the end. Despite getting picked off by Jun twice, he actually landed a blind ultimate onto the Evelyn, which forced the ultimate away from Jun, and not having the ult available means there's no more safety the moment he walks up. It's very easy for the Dr. Mundo to actually kill the Evelyn. There was nobody on the side of MSK that could deal with Rocky throughout the entire game. Kaigo never really got online on that gameplay, regardless of how many items he got. Nobody was ever gonna punch through that Dr. Mundo, and if you're gonna run there was really no things on the side of MSK's draft that could deal with the tank, so it was a very growing issue on their part. But yeah, congratulations once again on Ascension Gaming, still undefeated.
Yeah,
in Group A.
Man, you gotta be happy for the Thai fans right now, probably rejoicing over the constant wins coming in from Ascension Gaming. Really a great indication of what could potentially come. We have a really great contender at representing Southeast Asia at Worlds, but we'll just have to see. Still a long way to go for Globe Conquerors Manila. When we come back, we still have Game 4. We're only halfway through with the broadcast. Still a number of games to go, but we'll be taking a quick break for now. We have your casters. I'm Arctic. With me is Chiso, and this is the Globe Conquerors Manila Group Stage, Day 3 for Group A. We'll just have to find out who's going to end up coming out of the group alive as we come back. Ultimate going to be popped by Kaigu. Numbers are looking pretty good for both sides. Here is an all-out war. Nixar getting the kill onto TG June. Very, very low. Time is ticking. Down he goes. The rest of MSK, they're trying to flee. Exocen tries to go for the back line, but still Gary going to get chased down by Rocky. That's a very tanky Mundo. Double kill for Rocky. Looks like Kaigu going to be restraining himself under third. Still, all 5 members up and kicking for Ascension. Right, not naked in the nick of time. True shot barrage flies, but misses out.
I think it out.
Smite goes. Ascension Gaming, they're going to try to scatter to preserve this Baron. Nixar gets pulled in. Looks like they're going to try to pursue Rich this time around. Just a few more hits. Looks like they're having a bit of trouble trying to reach that Mad Cow, but looks like I think Rich probably not going to be surviving this in the end. Gets knocked up TG, but it's Kaigu that gets the kill. Oh, Exocen going to go straight in. Fortunately, Bubble won't be landing on G4, but he's taking way too much damage. One more hit. Exocen gets the kill. Exocen is low on mana, but still doesn't matter. A lot of members of MSK are up and kicking in this fight. Looks like they're going to want some cow for dinner this evening. TG gonna get the kill, 2 members down from Ascension, and this could be it. This is the time to go for Baron. Diving straight, and MSK gonna turn for the fight right now. Rocky dealing massive damage onto June. June trying to walk it out. That's gonna be the shutdown onto the jungler of MSK. Looks like it's gonna be a mission abort from here. Jumps and gets the kill onto the squishier members up in Ascension from the backline. Kaigu ready to take down Lloyd, but still, Rocky is just a beast. Any further engage from Rich. MSK, they're backing away for now, keeping their distance. Gonna get the pull in onto Rocky. Can they get a full amount of damage before the rest of Ascension respond though? June takes quite a bit from that sniper mix. Rocky got it straight in. He gets the jungler of MSK. This might be a full-on fight right here. The rest of MSK trying to back away. G4 gonna try to go for extras, and that's gonna be the hold along with the Jolly stuff. But still, the members of Ascension really intent on taking down the mid laner of MSK. One more hit. Exocen tried to walk it out, but gets sniped down by Nixar. This could be a full fight right here. Numbers are dwindling for MSK. Knock up onto Kaigu. Kaigu really make it out to tell himself forced to flash away. Looks like with all of that, gets a little bit of health right there. Gary, the only surviving member of MSK. Can he keep the dream alive for the Philippines in Group A? Lloyd will be going straight right here. Teleport. Gary tries to go for G4, but still, they are pushing real hard on these Nexus turrets. Gary trying to do what he can. Still very heavy death timers from the members of MSK. Ascension Gaming gonna go straight for it. That's gonna be Gary trying to do what he can, but with 3 members, it's a good done deal. Ascension Gaming take the game, continue their win streak, and end MSK's journey here at Globe Conquerors Manila.
Ascension Gaming